here. But as good things come to an end, better things are about to happen. We got to talk about the playoff chance for the Jacksonville Jaguars, the Dallas Cowboys, the Green Bay Packers, and of course the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. It's If and Then Thursday, guys, so buckle up. Let's have a grand old show. But first, and now, Mike's Thoughts. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, people of all ages, everything in this world, good things, bad things, whatever, they eventually come to an end. Good things always come to an end, whether it's in work, whether it's in life, whether it's at personal achievements on the Xbox or PlayStation, but good things always come to an end. And me and my wife were having a very healthy conversation last night, actually this morning. And she's like, whatever, yada, yada, yada. And I'm like, you need to start living in the future and go back to your old school ways. And she's like, I'm the most old school person out there. I'm like, what are you talking about? She's like, I have a CD still. I still buy CDs. I still buy records. I still buy the vinyl. So as good things come to an end, CDs, vinyls, and etc., right? We're all in the digital age, Spotify and iTunes and Apple Music and all that stuff, right? Let me ask you guys this question. In the comments below, we're going to have a poll after the show. But in the comments below, how many people actually buy physical copies of said music still? When Tech-N9ne releases a brand new album, I'm not going to the store and going to go buy the CD. I'm going to download it on Spotify. I actually have it pre-ready to download. So once the minute I hit bada bing, bada boom, it is there. Guys, let me know. Let me ask you the question. How many people still buy physical copies of music? Or movies for that matter. Physical copies of like anything. I'll be curious. Is that an old school mindset, or are we just like, it is what it is? Cue that intro. Are you ready for the best damn NFL show on the planet? Man Hour Nation, rise up.
I would like to personally welcome you to Man Hour After Dark. Say that thing. Why I bring you the host, Mike, Buck, and Cone. You know who coming to the stage. Sports talk than what you about to hear right here. I second that.
Go. You know that it's us when we talking about sports. Giving you facts on the field to the core. Tune in, we need the support. 1 hour too short, then listen some more. On all your stations, not dropping no music. Stripes like Adidas, but Nike just do it. Down 4 in the 4th, we go for the win. Michael 2 seconds, we taking it in. Buck, Mike, and Combs, you know what's going on. Man, now we're After Dark, no LA, we the big spark. No 4th and inches, won't cut you short. Got the best talking, it's all sports. Buzzing more than buzz beaters. We coming live all through your speakers, go.
And what is up, Man Hour Nation? Michael Buckhouse here with the Man Hour. Turn over to manhourradio.com. Check out the merchandise page. Check out the blog section. Check out the forum section. Join one of our trash talk groups out there, AFC West, Northeast, whatever. We have every division, every team, and coming in first quarter of 2024, we're going to have the hater groups, right? I hate the Kansas City Chiefs. I hate the Las Vegas Raiders. I hate the Indianapolis Colts. We're going to have hater groups for each and every team out there. So, guys, Man Hours is consistently growing and consistently changing things out there because this is the best damn NFL show on the planet. And all those haters make us famous, baby. But we do got to welcome some people into the chat this morning. We got my man, the resident NFL expert. This man's going to get a Robert Staubach jersey because he didn't beat me in the pick'ems this year. Let's just be honest. My man, John Peoples. What is up, John? Hope you're having a grand old day, my man. What's up, man? Hope you're having a grand John's been sick, been under the weather the last few days. Hopefully he's getting better. Man, take some of that NyQuil with honey. Woo! Magic to your mouth, baby. It is gross. It is the worst tasting thing you ever tasted in your life. But it does wonders. Then he also says, I do buy movies depending on old car movies like Bullitt, Steve McQueen. Music, tweeting out. He don't buy no music. But then we got my man, the biggest Chiefs hater in the world, Mr. Jimmifer Powell. Jimmifer, what is up? He says, nope, no reason to get the physical copy. Olivia is gone. Let her rest in peace. Who is Olivia? I don't know, man. And then we got Hoffy in the chat. My man Hoffy. He's feeding Snoop right now. He says, what is up, man? Hour. Hoffy, we miss you, brother. XD Gamer was actually just talking about you. He's like, where's Hoffy? I need some Jaguar love. Where's Hoffy? We miss Hoffy. Hoffy this, Hoffy that. Man, get out of here with this Hoffy crap. Buck is right here for you, but what's up, Hoffy? Hope you're having a grand old day. And John says, notice he said Raiders. Yeah, I kind of vomited in my mouth, though, John, when I did say the Raiders. So I'm like, bleh, bleh. Oh, man. And XD Gamer says, any Thursday night games tonight? No, it is all Saturday. I believe there's 3 games on Saturday. I actually have not looked at the schedule, but there's no Thursday night games. It's strictly Saturday and Sunday. The final game of the NFL season is the Buffalo Bills taking on the Miami Dolphins. And then bada bing, bada boom, the playoff picture will come into fruition. We'll see what game is on the old Peacock, so 90% of America can't see it. But it is what it is. But we're going to talk about those Jacksonville Jaguars, guys. We are going to talk about the Jacksonville Jaguars. That is the first segment of today's show. On this If and Then Thursday edition, guys, here at manhourradio.com, every Thursday we do a little bit of if and then, right? If this were to happen, then this happens, right? So, for example, if Hoffy forgets to pull out, then 9 months later, Snoop comes. Right? That is just the way it is. That is just the way it is. But, and then Hoffy says, XD Gamer. XD Gamer, my man. Jags still suck. They are a one and done. So let's talk about those Jacksonville Jaguars. Let's talk about the potential of the Jacksonville Jaguars even making the playoffs. So the if and then question of the day, the first topic of the day is, say, if the Jacksonville Jaguars don't make the playoffs in 2024, then what? So everything comes down to week 18 for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Everything. You win versus the Tennessee Titans and you are in. You win and you're in. If you lose, then it comes down to a 22% chance of you making a wild card. For the Jacksonville Jaguars to make a wild card, the Steelers have to lose, the Broncos have to lose, and the Colts versus Texans cannot end in a tie. Those things could definitely possibly happen. Steelers are playing a Ravens team that's going to be sitting everybody. Steelers are playing for their playoff lives. But realistically, guys, if the Jacksonville Jaguars do not make the playoffs, then changes are coming. I don't know exactly what those changes might be. I have been ridiculed about not knowing contract situations for coaches and, I don't know, dead cap hit crap, right? But I feel like the Jacksonville Jaguars would have to make some type of change. Now, obviously, Trevor Lawrence is not going anywhere, right? Doug Peterson, probably not. But something has to be done about the Jacksonville Jaguars. Because if they do not make the playoffs, then this is the biggest bust of the NFL season. This is the biggest bust of the NFL season if the Jacksonville Jaguars do not make the playoffs. Do you guys remember when they had 2 games over the pond in London and XD Gamer was right here in the chat saying the Jacksonville Jaguars are the best team in the NFL. Trevor Lawrence is the best quarterback in the NFL. This and this and this, guys. They won 5 games in a row. They won 7 out of the 8. The only loss of that 8-game stretch was coming to San Francisco 49ers. They came into town and whooped that candy asses. Of course, that was after the 49ers 3-game losing streak in their bye week. So can you put a little stock in that? Whatever. But the Jacksonville Jaguars were a very, very hot, a very, very good team from, I don't know, week 4 to about week 12. Then the wheels fell off the wagon. You could say injury this, injury that, whatever, right? The simple fact of the matter is that everybody goes through injuries. Baltimore Ravens, laundry list of injuries. Miami Dolphins, laundry list of injuries. San Francisco 49ers had a laundry list of injuries. They all bounce back, and the war of attrition is upon us. So I think if the Jacksonville Jaguars do not make the playoffs, they will be the biggest bust of the NFL season. Let me know what you guys think. If the Jacksonville Jaguars do not make the playoffs this season, then what? Obviously, if they win, they're in. If they lose, they need help. Steelers have to lose, Broncos have to lose, and the Colts and Texans do not have to end in a tie. Jim says, Man Hour Hoffy, can we call that Big Jim 2 ball talking where I'm from? Hoffy says, XD Gamer Jags still suck. They are a one and done. So Hoffy says, no matter if the Jaguars make the playoffs or not, they win. They get the 4th overall seed. They're going to play the number 5 team in the Philadelphia Eagles not the Philadelphia Eagles. It'll be the number 5 seed in the Cleveland Browns. I'm sorry, I'm thinking the NFC. I'm getting ahead of myself. They're going to be one and done. If I am not mistaken, the Jacksonville Jaguars are 0-4 versus the NFC North this season. So Hoffy says we're going to be a 0-5 if it comes down to it. Oh, the one and done, say John. Oh, the one and dones. Hey, there are going to be at least 6 one and dones in this year's playoffs. Possibly 8. Possibly. XD Gamer says, Buck, all I'm going to say about my Jags today is even in Ingram and Okun, I don't know how to say his name, were snubbed from the Pro Bowl. Don't worry. They will get in the Pro Bowl because many players are going to opt out from the Pro Bowl because nobody wants to play the Pro Bowl. And then there's going to be tight ends on the Ravens or the 49ers or the Chiefs. Whoever makes it to the Super Bowl, they're going to opt out. So Ingram can maybe slide his way in, but who cares about the Pro Bowl? Most overrated thing in the world. I'd rather watch them bowl than play flag football or tackle football or whatever. Jim has said, I've said it before. I say it yesterday. I say it again in game. I could beat the Jaguars coping a team of pissed off lesbians, a.k.a. the Miami Dolphins. Sheesh. Hoffy says, I believe the move from offensive coordinator unless they make it to the AFC Championship game. So Hoffy thinks if the Jacksonville Jaguars miss the playoffs, they're going to change of offensive coordinator. Their offensive coordinator is going to change because he said his best as their red zone efficiently is trash. The Jacksonville Jaguars do have one of the worst red zone efficiencies in the game. Let's flash back to week 2, when they played the Kansas City Chiefs. Kansas City Chiefs, come on down, right? Trevor Lawrence and the boys are clicking. They're driving down the field. They can drive freely as they want between the 20 and 20, but once they get inside that 20, interception, fumble, bad play call, a sack. Yeah, it's the Jacksonville Jaguars red zone efficiently has been trash pretty much all year. John says pot is legal in Jacksonville, Florida. Okay. My man Carson Lang is in the chat. He says, if the Jaguars don't make it, it is what it is. Everyone expects the sunshine to be the next coming of Jesus, and he is just not him. Actually, Carson, me and BC sat on this particular show when Trevor Lawrence was drafted. Was it number 1 overall? I can't remember. Urban Meyer at that particular time was a coach for the Jacksonville Jaguars. And we said it at that time. I said it. Combs thinks Trevor Lawrence was just going to be a bust. The biggest bust in the NFL realm ever. I said if Urban Meyer is going to be the coach beyond next season, then Trevor Lawrence will be a bust. Trevor Lawrence is a decent quarterback. Trevor Lawrence is a quarterback that you can win 5 games in a row with. You can win when the cards are stacked in your favor, i.e. playing in London back-to-back weeks versus the Buffalo Bills and the Atlanta Falcons. And then playing a Thursday night game the following week. When the cards are stacked in the favor of the Jacksonville Jaguars, they're a very, very good team. Trevor Lawrence, I think, has been put in this stigma where it's a boom or bust, right? We kind of live in the world where it's a boom or bust. Either you have to be the next coming of Jesus or you're a bust in the NFL. It's okay to be a game manager. Tom Brady made a great living being a game manager. Alex Smith made a great living of being a game manager. Now, there are some quarterbacks out there that made a great living of being the guy. Aaron Rodgers, Brett Favre, right? Patrick Mahomes, making a great living being the guy. But I think Trevor Lawrence, the Jacksonville Jaguars offensive coordinator, like Hoffy said, in general, is trying to make him something out to be that he's not being, that he isn't built to be. Trevor Lawrence isn't built to be the guy. Trevor Lawrence isn't built to go out there and win you 15 games in a row. He is out there. He is built to be a game manager. He is out there to nickel and dime you down the field, have that big, strong arm to push it down the field when necessary. But he needs a better defense, right? He needs to rely on that defense. Trevor Lawrence would be the GOAT if he was in Kansas City right now. Trevor Lawrence would be the GOAT if he was in San Francisco 49ers right now. Trevor Lawrence would be the GOAT if he was in Dallas Cowboys. What do all those teams have? Damn good defenses and pretty decent offensive coordinators. The Raiders are in one and done every year. Week 1, the season's over. They will get tickets. Man, our Hoffy has emotional damage. Emotional damage. Pissed off lesbians comments wins the internet today. Yes. If you want to win the internet, just follow Jim Powell in the AFC West Trash Talk group. That wins the internet each and every day. Idiots, AP needs a good OC, then maybe cut Jimmy G and Hoyer and pick up Kyler and Baker. So basically, Jim says we're talking about the Raiders now. Everything's got to be talked about the Raiders because, you know, they're the cream of the crop. He says AP needs to be a coach and he needs the offensive coordinator. Spoiler alert, AP is not going to be the coach in Las Vegas. AP is not going to be on the staff for Las Vegas next season. It's going to be one of two people. It's going to be Bill Belichick, and he's going to keep Jimmy G. Or it's going to be Jim Harbaugh, and he is going to keep Jimmy G as well. Jimmy G is your quarterback, and you guys are not getting AP as a coach. Sorry, guys. It is what it is. Hoffy, says XD Gamer, one and done is not the first time my Jags were in this scenario. If people talk about us, it's a must-win week 18 and one and done. We do the same thing as last year. We stood tall. So, guys, let's flash back to last season. The Jacksonville Jaguars had to win week 18 versus the Tennessee Titans to make it into the playoffs. Last season was a pretty boom and bust for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Earlier in the season, what they started like 0-6 or 1-7, it was a dumpster fire. Then they turned it on. They won, 6-7 games in a row, won week 18, snuck into the playoffs. Happened to play the Chargers in the first round. Chargers were up 28-0 going into the fourth quarter, wasn't? Or they were up 28 points in the second half. I don't remember the exact score, but there were 28 points going up into the second half. Trevor Lawrence did come back and win that game. Of course, the Chargers helped by shitting the bed, but let's digress from that. Let's talk up Trevor Lawrence and the Jacksonville Jaguars. They did come back from 28 points down last season to win a playoff game, sneak into the playoffs week 18. This is a totally different scenario this time around, XD Gamer. The Jacksonville Jaguars were supposed to be the cream of the crop. The Jacksonville Jaguars were supposed to dominate the AFC South. If they lose, they're probably going to miss the playoffs, and the Texans and the Colts are going to win the South. Who saw that coming? Not I. Actually, I did pick the Colts to win the South, but that's besides the point. We will gloat about that when that happens. But the Jacksonville Jaguars are in a different scenario. They lost 4 games in a row. They won last week versus the Carolina Panthers. Let's give those guys a round of applause. Yeah. Way to beat the 2-12, 2-14, whatever they are, Carolina Panthers. Good job. If the Jacksonville Jaguars make the playoffs, they are going to be a one and done. Not because they're not a good team. Not because they don't deserve to be there. They just ran into a gauntlet of the team by the name of the Cleveland Browns. The Cleveland Browns are going to walk all over the Jacksonville Jaguars. Whoever the Browns play in that first round game, whether it's the Colts, the Texans, or the Jaguars, it doesn't matter. Give me the Browns by a lot. Give me the Browns by the rot. Hoffy says, no one will top Jamarcus Russell's biggest bust ever. Jamarcus Russell really wasn't a bust. We can talk about Jamarcus Russell moving forward. Jim Powell says the Jags red zone would be in what? Okay, the Jags red zone would be better if they run the veer. Avoid Lawrence's nose as an obstacle in tight situations. I got nothing. Can I get an amen? Talking about bus, Ryan Leaf in San Diego. Fairly good bus. And Carson says, the one thing that a lot of people don't realize is coaching plays a big part of player successes or failures. Exactly. NFL coaching is so much overlooked, especially on the position players. Quarterback coach, running back coach, receiver coach, linebacker coach. They are a very, very big part of a player's success. Now, a player can just have pure raw talent, right? Pure raw talent sometimes overcomes lackluster coaching or a bad scheme or this like that. But 9 times out of 10, most players in the NFL are on a pretty level playing field talent-wise, skill-wise. It comes down to coaching. It comes down to that it factor, that willing to put yourself in adverse situations and succeed, right? Carson, you nailed it. Coaching is a big, big thing. Belichick as AC and Josh McDaniels as offensive coordinator in Vegas. It's going to happen, baby. Wouldn't that be the greatest thing ever? Boo. And Tom Brady, isn't he going to be partial owner of the Raiders too? Jags got Luffy in the playoffs, says Hoffy, because they played Deuce Staley. He sucks donkeys. Name 2 quarterbacks who overcome a 27-0 win. Patrick Mahomes and Patrick Mahomes. Equipment with sound effect, right on. Always got sound effects, man. But guys, let me know. If the Jacksonville Jaguars do not make the playoffs, then what? That's a great conversation piece for the moving forward here. But let's move on. Let's move on to that's right, put some respect on their name, the THE, the Dallas Cowboys, baby. Let's talk about this 89% chance they have of winning the NFC East. Let's talk about the opportunity of them then locking up the second overall seat. But what if they don't? What if they don't? If the Dallas Cowboys do not lock up the second seed this weekend, then what? Guys, I really do not see the Cowboys losing this game versus the Commanders. I do not see it. The Cowboys have the world to play for, and the Washington Commanders literally have nothing to play for. The only thing they have to play for is a second overall pick. They already have their lockers cleaned out. Their bags are packed. They're ready to get back to their homes in California and Florida. They're ready to go on the banana boat and get in the ocean. Let's just be honest. But if it were to happen, then what? If the Dallas Cowboys lose to the Commanders and the Eagles get the second overall seed, all of the haters are going to come out of the woodwork. Oh, we told you so that Cowboys aren't very good on the road. We told you that the Cowboys aren't this, and this. We told you so. We told you so. Fly, Eagles, fly. And bang, bang, Niner gang, right? All that crap is going to come out of the woodworks. If you guys want to see trolls at their finest, if the Dallas Cowboys lose to the Commanders, come over to the Man Hour page, click on any video about the Dallas Cowboys, and they're going to be, I told you so, I told you so. Oh, and my favorite is the clown emoji, right? That's my favorite. So keep putting that in the comments. That's just freaking awesome. But if the Cowboys lose to the Commanders, they're still a 5 seed in the playoffs, right? They're still the 5 seed, and they're going to probably end up playing the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. That is a win-win scenario for the Dallas Cowboys. It is. Not only do they get to go on the road and win a playoff game, they get to end the Tampa Bay Buccaneers season again, but then they can silence all those haters. Then they can worry about the San Francisco 49ers. Oh, we beat you all by 40-some-odd points. 49ers would be one and done. Get that crap out of here, baby. So, Dallas Cowboys, please lose to the Commanders on Sunday. Please get your ass kicked by the Commanders on Sunday. Please go into Tampa, Florida, and beat down Baker Mayfield. My Baker Mayfield. I love me some Baker Mayfield. Whoop that ass. And then go into Santa Clara, and Huffy, he's going to be sitting here crying because the Dallas Cowboys are going to shut down CMC. They're going to hurt Brock Purdy again. Like, oh, you guys cheated. The refs helped you all. Shut up. Cowboys are coming, baby. But guys, if the Cowboys seriously do not get the second overall seed, then what? Ask you guys this question. John says, pick your battles. Never. I always pick all the battles, John. Give me all of them. Frank Wright and Tom Brady oh my God, that would be terrible. Frank Wright is the only head coach to be fired back-to-back seasons. You want to make it a third season? Go to freaking Las Vegas. XT Gamer says, Buck, can you show us the Cowboys playoff run through the last 7 years with Dak Prescott? He has beaten the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He ended Tom Brady's career. He beat the, was it the Seahawks? He is 2-4 in the playoffs, if I'm not mistaken. As of active quarterbacks right now, he has just as many wins as everybody else in the NFC playoffs besides Matthew Stafford, which he only has 4 wins. He's 4-3 in the playoffs. Guys, stop shitting on Dallas Cowboys. Stop shitting on those Cowboys. Dak Prescott is the MVP of the NFC. If there was an MVP in the NFC, give it to Dak Prescott. Over Purdy, over CMC, over CD. In the NFC, Dak Prescott is that guy. A lot of ass kissing to the lovers against the Lions. Interesting take there. Not for sure what you meant there. But XD Gamer says the Cowboys won't make it to the NFC Championship game. So XD Gamers believes if the Cowboys do not get the second seed, they will not make it to the NFC Championship game. And it will be a very, very tough road, right? Making it to the NFC Championship game in general, no matter what seed you are, is going to be a very, very tough road. Because when we look at the NFC, right, whether it's the second seed, whether it's the fifth seed, if you are the second seed, you are going to be playing a very, very hot team in the Green Bay Packers, more than likely. If you are the fifth seed, you are going to be playing a Tampa Bay Buccaneers team that has shown spurts of being great. There are times when the old Buccaneers are out there like, whoa, slow it down, baby. But then you're like, whoa, can you pick it up a little bit? Then we look at the second round game. If you are a 5th seed, granted, let's say the Lions do beat the Rams. Big if there, right? The Cowboys would then, in theory, would have to play the old 49ers in that divisional game. Tough, right? Let's say they're the 2nd seed. They would have to play either the Lions or the Rams. Either way, tough games. Hopefully the Lions can upset the Rams. Yes, it would be an upset. The Rams are hot. But it is no easy road for anybody. Really, the team that has the easiest road, to be honest, are probably the Rams. If you want to talk about a, quote, easy road in the NFC, the Rams probably have it, right? They're going to go into Detroit, play the Detroit Lions, a team that hasn't won a playoff game since, 1993. They're going to probably win that game. Then you play a familiar face, a division foe, in the San Francisco 49ers. The 49ers that are kind of licking their wounds a little bit. You have the mental, what's the word I'm looking for? Like the mental over them. You can match them on the defensive side. You can match them on the offensive side. And then let's say the Rams beat the San Francisco 49ers. Then they get to play the Dallas Cowboys again. Yes, the Cowboys did whoop that ass, week 3 or 4? Nice little revenge game. I don't know. I think the Rams. Katie says, man hour? I love the Chiefs. I love the way the Chiefs play. In years past, I love the way the Chiefs play. This year, I'm like, catch the damn ball. Carson says, Dak being MVP of the NFC is basically a gold medal in the Special Olympics. Hey, still got the gold medal, baby. Still won. I can still say that I got this, baby. But hey, it is what it is. Jim Powell says, hashtag Lions got screwed. They are junk on the road and have to play in the road. They will get bent over like a Chief fan at the boys club at the YMCA and pretend he dropped the soap. The Cowboys do not play good on the road. You can also say that about other teams in the NFL. The Eagles, the Dolphins. You can say that about the Packers. Playing on the road in general is tough. The atmosphere, the weather change, the travel alone, right? It is what it is. He was in the sit your ass down and watched the remaining of the playoffs game. XD Gamer says, no, I'm saying in general, they won't make the NFC Championship game. It doesn't matter of their seed. XD Gamer says, I don't care if the Cowboys get the 2nd seed, the 1st seed, the 5th seed, the 7th seed. It doesn't matter, baby. As The Rock said, it doesn't matter what you say. They're one and done. Get them out of here. John says, Goff needs to show out and the Lions get to Stafford. I agree. I think the Lions and Rams are going to be one of the best playoff games of the wild card weekend. If it were to happen, I think it's pretty much a lock, isn't it? That game is going to happen. But moving on from the Jaguars, moving on from the Dallas Cowboys, and let's talk about some more NFC teams. Let's move over to the NFC North. Let's not talk about the Vikings because they're pretty much done. Let's talk about the Lions. Nah, that's old news. Talk about the Bears? Kind of. But let's talk about one of the hottest teams right now, and that's the Green Bay Packers. We've been talking about hot teams in the AFC, but the hottest team in the NFC right now, besides the Rams, could possibly quite be the Green Bay Packers. Earlier this season, guys, I said the Green Bay Packers have 2 routes they can take. They're either going to be really good or really bad. I was talking like 12-4 or 3-12 or 4-12, right? I was wrong on that. They're 8-8. But if they win this weekend, versus the Chicago Bears, then they are in the playoffs. Playoffs? Yeah, the playoffs. Now, if they lose, I believe they are officially done. So win and they're in versus the Chicago Bears. But we're not talking about just the Green Bay Packers. We're talking about my man, Jordan Love. We are talking about that man that has been ridiculed pretty much all season long. He can't do this, he can't do that, whatever, yada, yada, yada. But we got to ask the question. If the Green Bay Packers make the playoffs, then is Jordan Love the guy moving forward? Is Jordan Love truly the guy in Green Bay? Guys, this season, Jordan Love has over 3,800 yards passing, 30 touchdowns to 11 interceptions. They are the youngest team in the NFL. Meaning, I think everybody on that roster is damn near 22 years old. Like, what? Everybody's young. Doesn't even have a gray hair yet. Man, if my beard gets any longer, it's going to be nothing but gray. I've been plucking those bad boys out. What does that even look like? But if the Green Bay Packers do make the playoffs, Jordan Love is their guy moving forward. It's simple as that. He does have 1 year left on his deal. He did sign that 1 year extension this offseason. Going to 2024 season, he's locked up for like $9 million. So, guys, if the Green Bay Packers make the playoffs, Jordan Love is the guy. We are going to probably see him get signed to a long-term deal. Probably get signed to a long-term deal either way. Because you always sign when the value is least, right? And right now, Jordan Love's value is going up, 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 and up, and up, and up. And it seems like every time the next quarterback gets signed, it's the next biggest deal. Maybe Jordan Love can take that hometown discount. Maybe you can get him a little bit of back end, like a little bit of Patrick Mahomes treatment. We'll give you $1 million year 1, year 2, year 3. We'll backload that. We'll give you $100 million like 2030, right? But legitimately, guys, is Jordan Love the Packers quarterback moving forward for the next 15, 16, 17 years? Let's go. Let's answer that question. John says, last few weeks they've been playing with themselves, helmets thrown. I think he's talking about the Chiefs there. Talking about the Chiefs. Can we talk about Pro Bowl snubs? I have not looked at the Pro Bowl list yet, but we can talk about that tomorrow. And John says, Bears win the Packers game. What? You think that ownership has expired to Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers just because Aaron Rodgers decided to own a different team for like a little while, go work for the competitor? He still owns the Chicago Bears. The Green Bay Packers still own the Chicago Bears. It's all about the mentality. It doesn't matter who the CEO is, baby. It doesn't matter. When you come into that game, you see the big G on their helmets, you see the yellow and green. You're like, man, can we ever beat these guys? Can we ever beat these guys, right? This reminds me of playing slow pitch softball back in Manhattan, Kansas, back in the day. I thought we had a very, very good men's team. We were nice and young. We stretched out plays, always got thrown out of second base, but we'll digress from that, Alan Fox. But there was a team out there by the name of Punishers. Nice old school guys, right? Yes, they started bringing some younger players. They brought in Jordy from every now and then. They brought Mike Nelson in like every now and then. But every time we saw Punishers on that schedule, we're like, damn. Hopefully we get them early game because we're going to be too drunk to play them in the second game, right? That's exactly what it is like the Chicago Bears playing the Green Bay Packers right now. Now, if this was week 3, the Bears are like, oh, okay, we got a shot, right? But right now, the Bears aren't playing for jack shit. They already know that Eberflus is going to be the coach moving forward. Justin Fields is there moving forward. So why even play week 18? Yes, you could potentially knock the Packers out of the playoffs. But just to save a little ego, sit your starters, let the Packers win, because if you start your starters and still lose to the Packers, that is going to be a long off season. And says, what I miss? I had a meeting to attend to. Listen, man. You missed the best damn NFL show on the planet. No. But, Ant, we talked about the Jaguars and the Cowboys. We haven't talked about your Ravens. We're not going to talk about them today. We're going to talk about them tomorrow. There's a lot of time to talk about the Ravens in the next 2 weeks. But if you missed a show and you want to listen to it, you can check us out on Spotify, of course, iTunes. We do upload clips every 90 minutes on Facebook and YouTube, so be sure to be subscribing to that. And John says, Buck babbling about the Dallas Cowboys. Come on, man. Carson says Love is going to get a 2 or 3 year deal before they make that final decision. Let me ask you this, though, Carson. If you see potential in somebody, right? Obviously, they signed that 1 year extension. They said, prove it to us. I think Jordan Love has proved it to them. If they sign that 2 year, 3 year deal, like you suggest, and he balls out even more, throws for 4,500 yards, 40 touchdowns, right? Next year. The year after that, throws for 5,000 yards, 30 touchdowns. Maybe I'll digress on this like on the scoring. But he is consistently getting better and better and better. Aren't you kicking yourself in the ass like at that point? You're like, man, we could have got this car for $100, but then we decided to wait. Now that same car, everybody wants it. Now it's $1,000. Damn. I think the Packers are smart enough, and they have a coaching staff to develop players, right? We've seen the growth of Jordan Love and that whole entire Packers team all season long. With the first 4 weeks of the season, like, man, Jordan Love's terrible, right? Hell, I think at some point they were calling to bench Jordan Love or cut him or whatever. Now, like, damn, Jordan Love, long-term deal? Packers making the playoffs? Clearly the Packers are doing something right up there. Coaching, just like you said, great deal, right? Jim says, Cowboys don't want that Green Bay smoke. MVP Lamar Jackson only has 3,600 yards so far this season. Ugh. Don't be throwing those stats out there, Jim. You're going to piss off those Ravens fans. You're going to piss off those Lamar Jackson fans because every time you say that, I'm not trying to dog you, Ant, but there are a lot of Ravens fans out there. Every time you put out the stats of Lamar Jackson, hey, this man only has 3,600 yards passing. Oh, but he has like 1,000 yards rushing. They're winning a lot of games. Okay, my bad. Josh Allen has 3,600 yards passing and 1,000 yards rushing. Plus, he has 40-some odd touchdowns. 86% of the team's touchdowns accounted for. But hey, don't shoot the messenger. Just stating the facts, right? Just stating the facts. Ice Bowl 2.0 this weekend. Is it supposed to be that cold this weekend up there? XT Gamer says, I think the Packers will make it to the divisional round against the Lions. Hot take. If the Packers play the Eagles, I could see that happening. I don't think the Packers match well up against the Dallas Cowboys. Plus, we have to think of the game inside the game, right? Who did Mike McCarthy used to coach for? The Green Bay Packers. Who was a team that beat them last season in, was it the final play of the game? I think it was the final play of the game, wasn't it? It was the Green Bay Packers. The Cowboys want that Packers smoke. The Cowboys want to whoop that Packers ass. Mike McCarthy probably wants it more than anybody else. But the Packers are playing really, really good football right now. But one of the things that I am a firm believer of, and I've seen it time after time again, most recent, the Kansas City Chiefs. You have to lose before you learn how to win. What do I mean by that? Now, there are teams out there that get really, really hot and really, really good. Let's flash back to Lamar Jackson's first MVP year. Was it 2019, right? The Ravens were 13-3. They were clicking. The cream of the crop. Nobody could stop them whatsoever. Well, that's regular season. Playoffs are a different animal. Playoffs are when real coaches learn how to coach and veteran players turn it on, right? Well, the Baltimore Ravens forgot that, hey, this is playoffs, it's a different time. John Harbaugh got out coached. Lamar Jackson got outplayed. The whole Baltimore team as in general just sucked. They lost that game. They learned from that game. And recently, the last couple years, they've learned how to win. The Packers, they've had regular season success. We get it. Whole brand new team. Right? Old Matt LaFleur and Aaron Rodgers went to what? Was it 2 or 3 straight NFC championship games, right? Brand new team there. Yes, they do have the coaching. It's still the player's mindset. I think the Packers have to lose a, quote, heartbreaker in the playoffs before they'll be ready to take that next step. Fields throws for 300 and rushes for 200 with 2 tutties, says John. So John thinks Justin Fields is going to go off against the Green Bay Packers. 300 yards passing and 200 yards rushing. Oh, for a Husky is that 100 with 2 tutties? That would be tough. That would be tough to think. Wishful thinking. Jim says, John, we better hope Fields don't play. We don't want him to get hurt when he's moving to Vegas. So I actually heard that old Bill Belichick loves him some Justin Fields, right? So if Bill Belichick does come to Las Vegas, you still have Jimmy G as a potential. But Justin Fields to Vegas, that could be fun. That could be fun. I think the Bears will move on from Fields, says Ant. He'll end up in the AFC, hopefully not the Steelers. That would be scary. So this is the one thing about Justin Fields, right? Is Justin Fields is not Matt Eberflus and Pools' guy, right? Justin Fields is a very, very good talent. My man BC said he sees Justin Fields moving on after this season, not because he's not a good talent, just because the Bears can't develop him. And there's been rumors of the Falcons getting out there, the Steelers. I've heard the Raiders. I've heard there are a lot of teams that are floating around with Justin Fields' name in their mouth, right? But let's flash back to this offseason. Lamar Jackson. Previous from this year, right? I feel that Justin Fields and Lamar Jackson were kind of the same player, right? They have a lot of raw talent, but it hasn't been quite sculpted into what it could be, right? Nobody wanted to touch Lamar Jackson. Why? I don't know. Maybe because he was asking for the world. I don't know. But if Justin Fields and Lamar Jackson are kind of the same player, right? They're cut from the same cloth per se, right? What makes you think that a team wants to mold a Justin Fields? Because let's say he goes to the Steelers. Does he instantly make them better without any changes to his game? No, I don't think that does. Take him into Vegas. Does he instantly make the Vegas Raiders a playoff team? No, they might win an extra game, but they're not a playoff threat. They're not a playoff scary team, right? And the Falcons, definitely not. So I don't know what the infatuation with Justin Fields is when the same player cut from the same cloth, i.e. Lamar Jackson, was on the same market last season and nobody wanted to touch him. People actually come out of their way and said, we don't want him. We didn't ask you. Well, I'm telling you, we don't want him. Maybe that was just them trying to devalue Lamar. Maybe. They're like, hey, if we say we don't want him, and other teams are like, well, if they don't want him, we don't want him. But all in the back of the head, you want them? I could possibly see it. I don't know. But with all this talk of Justin Fields, it's just definitely upping his value, right? And says, nah, I'm not offended. by the MVP slander and talk. Me and Lamar want the bigger piece of the pie. The Super Bowl, baby! Gotta get those Chiefs first. Kevin's in the chat. What's up, Kevin? He says, they don't mean lose to the last place team. The whole NFC East division is trash. The NFC East has definitely taken on a different shade of light since the Philadelphia Eagles have kind of fell out of the bottom, right? If you look back earlier in the season, many people thought that there's going to be a couple dark horses in the East, i.e. the Giants. The Giants made the playoffs last year, if I'm not mistaken, and many people thought they were going to repeat, and they thought the Commanders were going to be better. It is what it is. I mean, you cannot dominate, like a division as a whole cannot dominate year after year after year. It is very, very tough to have every team from top to bottom a good playoff caliber team. It is. Hell, we thought possibly that the AFC North was going to have all 4 teams make their playoffs. Granted, we know that's not going to happen now. Injuries caught up to them, but the NFC North, you can say they aren't very good either because, the Bengals aren't going to make the playoffs. The Steelers aren't going to make the playoffs. They're only getting the Browns and the Bengals, right? I get it. I get it that you are probably a Kevin, I'm not even going to try to guess what people hate the NFC East. Would it be everybody? Everybody hates the Dallas Cowboys because they're in the East. I don't know. XE Gamer says, I think the Lions are a one and done. The team has been inconsistent in the second half of the season. Just look at the stats. You are absolutely correct, XE Gamer. We said it yesterday. I've been saying it for the last month and a half about the Detroit Lions. They've been lacking that killer instinct. Ever since the Baltimore Ravens beat down the living dog crap or the lion crap out of the Lions, they have not been the same team. That killer instinct has been gone. Buck, you need to shut up saying crazy shit like that. No. Ant says the Bears organization is the worst when it comes to developing quarterbacks. Absolutely correct. Can we get an award and give it to my man? Yeah. The Chicago Bears suck. If I remember correctly, the Chicago Bears have never had a quarterback pass over 4,000 yards. I'm just saying. The best quarterback in Chicago Bears history was Jay Cutler. He is from a school here in Indiana. I think it's Santa Claus, Indiana, where he went. He went to, can't even remember the name of the high school. But I watched a story about Jay Cutler and when he got recruited to Vanderbilt, and he didn't even know where Vanderbilt was. Then he had to dial up on his old computer there, dial up internet back in the day, right? And looked up Nashville. Where's Nashville? That's the best quarterback in Chicago Bears history. You don't even know where Nashville, Tennessee's at. What? Oh, man. Heritage Hills. That's what it is. Why do we literally play them every summer in a scrimmage and I can never remember their stupid ass name. Heritage Hills. Yep. Yeah, I think they're the Generals or something like that. Heritage Hills Generals. But anyways, guys, that's going to be it for today's show. Thank you guys for joining us. That is the wrong button. Hope you guys have had a grand old day. Hope you guys have enjoyed some live, raw, uncut NFL talk. We will be back tomorrow. Monday, we got some news to announce. We have some news to announce. Hoffy will be back. We want Hoffy. Hoffy will be back. But we got some bigger news to announce. Some things have been changing over here at Man Hour and potentially to the moon, baby. Stay tuned, guys. We'll be back tomorrow. Live, raw, uncut, 10 a.m. East Coast time. We out.